We are working further on extending that fiber not only north-south to the countries we are providing, but even east-west, from Sudan to Chad to Cameroon, now to Nigeria going on and expanding to Ivory Coast. We are a true Pan-African company.
You know, this year's theme for Transform Africa, boosting Africa's digital economy, I guess Liquid is one of the companies that can say that they're really putting in effort to making this happen. What are your thoughts on the theme this year?
No, it is really very good. When we talk about the free trade, the agreement for Africa, we include even communication. We include data. What we are doing as Liquid is making it easier for Africa. The biggest challenge is now for Africa is we communicate even with neighbors through Europe or Americas. But now with the Liquid network, we keep African traffic within Africa. We are building data centers, keeping African content within Africa. We are shortening even the distances. It was raised yesterday and we shared it. Why would you make a voice call or a data interchange and you first go to Europe? Right. So we are providing solutions.
You mentioned the data centers. Can you tell us about your investments in that field?
Currently, Liquid runs one of the largest data centers in Africa, the Liquid Data Center in Johannesburg. We have another one in Cape Town. We have the biggest also in the region, the East African Data Center. We are duplicating those data centers wherever we're operating, including here in Rwanda, in Zimbabwe, and we are looking also at data centers in West Africa, keeping African traffic within Africa. We are providing cloud services. Our data center in South Africa, Johannesburg, houses giants like Microsoft. Now all the big five, as we call them, you know, name them like Alibaba, Yahoo, Google, all those. Right. They have to come, work with Africa, keep contents of Africa within Africa, and then we stop answering questions. What is your email? You say, I am Google, I am Yahoo, I am whatever. It should be yours and resident here. Right. As part of protection of your services. But also as we go into many value-added services. Right. The fintech industry, the security, the cloud services, everything like that.
So those are the future plans for Liquid?
No, no, no. Those are not the future plans. Those are happening and they are available here. The future plans include expanding them to the rest of the continent. I explained the Cape to Cairo, but you know, wherever we go, then we enter the capitals. So we are in the sea, we are in the sky, and we are around. So we just move, and then take, for example, here in Kigali. We are doing like 20,000 homes, connectivity, fiber to every home, to every building. You go to Lusaka, you will find the same thing. You go to Zimbabwe, you go to South Africa. So, and now, even those that were not connected, in 2 months, a country that is not connected like South Sudan, we shall be there. And people will. So we provide solution to both access and affordability. That's even the challenge that we have. Sometimes we bring the connection, but it is not affordable by the population.
Right.
because inherent Africans, we don't have the means.
Right.
So, but we are addressing it, making it affordable. Here in Rwanda, internet is cheaper than in West Africa when they are getting it from the sea, 10 times cheaper.
We've seen a map talking about the prices of internet here and in the rest of the continent, and that is true that in Rwanda the internet prices are much lower than much of the rest of the continent. But I wanted to ask you about some of your operations in the different countries. Here in Rwanda, you're one of the biggest providers. But what is...
We don't call ourselves the biggest. We are players because we are happy to be a provider even to the big players.
Yes.
The mobile network operators. So we don't compete, we complement each other. So we can't say I'm better than whoever is a player there. They are all our partners, and Liquid is all about building partnership.
Is your presence the same in other countries? Do you have as much of a good relationship with other players in the other countries that you operate in?
Our brief is that to grow the business, it's not just about competition. It's providing good service, good partnership, and then the market will dictate your position. So some people might think we are competing or we are going into their turf, but to us, they are all our partners.
Right.
The person of concern is our client. So the client must have very good service.
You know, I want to ask you about your operations. A lot of your business comes from business to business. Like you said, you have a lot of partnerships. Do you have any plans to increase direct to consumer business as well?
No, that's what people felt. But actually now most of our business and our revenue stream is going to come from the individual clients. I just gave you an example. Wherever we are operating, we are doing fiber to every home. It's not just to the corporates. Because we are in the sea, because we are in the sky, and because we have reliable networks that have resilience and backups. And then the big operations, the corporates, tend to connect to us.
Right.
This conference would not take place if the baby feeding it is not Liquid.